Kia ora, I'm Daughter from the Zero Waste Network. Tāmaki Makaurau, Auckland aspires to be zero waste by 2040. A key part of Auckland's plan is to roll out community recycling centres across the region so we can send far less of our waste to landfill. 10 are already up and running and more are planned. They've got some great stories to tell.
The Onehunga Community Recycling Centre is located at the bottom of Onehunga. We're a recycling centre or reuse centre. We receive a lot of stuff that we can find a new home for, a lot of household items. And we also recycle all materials such as plastics, wood, metal, all sorts of waste. We work with a lot of schools, a lot of organisations that are in this waste minimisation space, especially our Pacifica and Māori community. And we run regular workshops to change the behaviour of our community about how to deal with waste, how to recycle, how to repurpose, how to upcycle. So it's a great engagement for us and our community to come together, and it's a great mixture of community, organisation, as well as council, as well as central government.
We are a community recycling centre. We're Helensville Zero Waste. We're trying to teach our community about circular economy, about changing the model of how we deal with waste, so instead of it just going to a big hole in the ground, i.e. landfill, about how we can actually engage with some pretty exciting material and either send it off to other markets or put it back into our community again at a really inexpensive price. We've done a couple of really exciting projects. One is deconstructing a whole house and proving that you can deconstruct for the same price that you can demolish. We ended up with 83% of the house that we could reuse again, and a lot of that was beautiful native timber. So now we've turned our eyes to new house builds, and we've been working with GJ Gardner on diverting the waste, 81% diversion, and all of that building materials going back into our community at a time where building materials are really expensive. So people have been really enjoying the fruits of that little project as well.
This is Tipping Point, and we're the Waitakere CRC. We are lucky enough to be located actually inside the transfer station for probably a good half of Auckland. Our main role here is to intercept stuff that's going to landfill. We are into reusable products and materials. Stuff for reuse, stuff for repurposing, but also we intercept a lot of C&D waste. We're really keen on recycled timber, fittings, things like windows, doors, framing timber, roofing iron, plumbing, anything which is reusable. And that's something that we're going to move into in a bigger way once the site has been expanded. We employ probably about 14 full-time equivalent staff here. We actually sustain ourselves through our activities, so there's no money that's coming in on top of that. We're closer to the ideal of a circular economy.
We are the Waiuku Community Recycling Centre, run by Waiuku Zero Waste. We run a full transfer station and take recycling and have a really large reuse shop on the site as well. Some of the spin-off things that we do include a tool library, enabling people to have the use of tools that they might not be able to otherwise afford, that they might only need for a one-off job, so they can come in and borrow those tools for a week or two to get a job done. We've also got a workshop. We have about 15 regular volunteers that come into the workshop. They repair things, they do projects for local community groups. We have school groups that come along and learn about recycling. It really is about the people. That keeps you going and keeps us going too, if people with a passion to do those things.
We are at the Manurewa Community Recycling Centre. We invite the community to come along and bring their unwanted household goods that we can repurpose and resell and give value prices to the rest of the community.
We see a lot of illegal dumping that happens in our area, so we want to be able to work with the community to be able to give them the right ways of getting rid of waste and also being able to divert that away from landfill as much as possible. We run community events, we run environmental education programs, and we also run zero waste services as well into the community. It ranges from an amazing creator space where people can really connect in with our community and run programs here. We offer a boomer shed, and that's for both men and for women to be able to come in, to be able to undertake community projects and be able to also upcycle and repair a lot of the things that we're seeing coming through the Community Recycling Centre. We have a pātaki kai, we have a community garden, and we also run our graffiti removal services from our site here as well.
We are at the City to Farm project that takes urban food scraps and composts them in something called swales and grows bananas. We're diverting business food scraps from the Hibiscus Coast from landfill to soil improvement, and it's also part of our Zero Waste, Zero Carbon Schools program. Whangaparoa Community Recycling Centre is very small, so we don't really have much space to do things on site, so most of our community engagement is with schools. We have a Zero Waste Kindy program, we do our business food scrap collections. You have to change people's concepts before you can change behaviours, and so that's why education is so important.
We are at the Devonport Community Recycling Centre. I didn't actually realise how much stuff people waste until we really got stuck in to this operation. It really opens your eyes when you see what people are disposing of. You kind of see their eyes light up when they realise that you've actually potentially got another use for that item. We recycle all sorts of materials here that come from businesses, households, attics, garages, you name it, we'll generally take it. These types of centres are really valuable for the local community to have on their doorstep so that we can keep as much out of landfill as possible. We are generally diverting about 70% of all waste that comes through the gate here.
We are at the Northwest Zero Waste Hub. We process inorganics that come from North and West Auckland. So when we first opened, a lovely organisation based in Birkenhead were on the brinks of closing their doors. And since they've been able to come and collect whatever they like for free from here, they've been able to pay staff and they've been able to keep on going. Another group based up in Kaikoui, they were the same. They were struggling to get things in the door, yet we have this massive warehouse of stuff that would have gone to landfill. So it's adding value and giving organisations an opportunity to get things to support the community. Over our first 3 months of operations between our two sites, we've processed just under 400 tonnes of material from the inorganic collection.
Community recycling centres are valuable community spaces. They're obvious drop-off points for future product stewardship initiatives, such as the container return scheme. With the right investment from councils, central government and other funders, and with community involvement, we can all play our part in creating a zero waste future.